There is someone living inside your chest right now. Not a memory, not a habit, a person, whole and real and impossible to put down. You wake up, and before the day has even begun, before the light has touched the floor, they are already there, sitting quietly in the first breath you take. You carry them through your morning, like something sacred you are afraid to name. You carry them into rooms full of other people, into conversations that should distract you, into nights that should finally give you rest, but they don't leave. They never quite leave. And here's what I need you to hear before anything else. That pull you feel, that ache that lives just below your ribs, that quiet, relentless return of their face in your mind. It is not weakness. It is not obsession. It is not you failing to move on. It is a signal, a real one. The kind that doesn't come from the mind, but from something deeper, something older, something that knows things your logic hasn't caught up to yet. Because the truth is this: the person you cannot stop thinking about has not stopped thinking about you either. They feel you, right now. Somewhere, they feel you. But something is holding them back. Something quiet and heavy and very specific. And before this is over, I'm going to tell you exactly what that something is. Stay with me. What I share toward the end of this will change what you do next. And what comes after this first truth will show you just how deep this connection really goes. Some things don't end just because they go quiet. A river doesn't stop existing because you can no longer hear it. A star doesn't stop burning because clouds are covering the sky. And a real connection, a true one, the kind that reaches into the parts of you that no one else has ever touched. That kind does not simply dissolve because two people stopped talking. What you built with this person left a mark. Not on a page, not in a photograph, inside you, in the way you laugh now. In the things you will no longer settle for. In the standard your heart quietly holds every new person up against. That is not nothing. That is everything. And here is the tender truth beneath it all. They carry the same mark. You are written into them the same way they are written into you. When something beautiful happens to them, there is a part of them that still wants to tell you first. When they hear a certain song, when they see a certain kind of light on a certain kind of evening, something in them turns toward you. Not toward your memory, toward you. The connection never broke. It just went underground. It is still running, still alive, still warm beneath all that silence. And the silence, that long heavy silence between you, is not proof that it's over. It is proof that it matters too much to approach carelessly. They are afraid of what reaching out might cost them. And that fear, that specific and very human fear, is exactly what we need to talk about. There are moments in a person's day that belong to no one. The space between waking and rising, the long drive home in the dark, the last few minutes before sleep finally comes. Those are the hours when the walls people build around their feelings become thin. And in those thin, quiet hours, you appear to them, not because they choose it, because they cannot help it. You show up in the small things they cannot explain. Why they ordered the coffee you always used to get. Why they slowed down driving past a place you once went together. Why they started to type your name and then stopped and stared at the screen for a long time before putting their phone face down. They think about you the way you think about them, with that particular mixture of warmth and longing and something that feels almost like grief for a life that could have unfolded differently. They wonder if you are okay. They wonder if you ever think of them. They wonder what you would say if they reached out after all this time. The answer to their wondering is you, right here, feeling everything they are feeling. Proof that this goes both ways. They have not let go. They've only learned to hold on quietly, privately, in the hours when no one is watching. But holding on quietly is still holding on. And what they are holding, what they refuse to let go of even now, is you. I need to say this as gently and as clearly as I can. Their silence is not rejection. Say that again to yourself if you need to. Their silence is not rejection. When someone feels something enormous and still says nothing, it is almost never because they feel nothing. It is almost always because they feel too much. Too much to risk, too much to lose, too much to hold out in their open hands and watch you walk away from. Silence is not absence. Silence is often the sound of someone loving you from a distance. They don't yet know how to cross. They have rehearsed what they would say to you, maybe more times than you know. They have picked up their phone and put it back down. They have written the message and deleted it. They have almost, so many times, been brave enough, and then the fear came back. That quiet, paralyzing fear of what happens if they open that door and you are not on the other side. Of what happens if the feelings are not equal. Of what it means to be that honest with another person when honesty has cost them so much before. If you feel this right now, if something in this is sitting heavy and true in your chest, you are exactly where you need to be. Stay close, because what comes next will tell you exactly what kind of fear is living inside them, and why understanding it might be the most important thing you do today. Here is what they are afraid of. They are afraid of being too late. They have counted the days, the weeks. They have done the math on the silence between you and decided that too much time has passed, that you have healed, that you have moved on. That reaching out now would only be selfish or confusing or cruel. They have convinced themselves that they missed their moment, that the window closed while they were standing on the other side of it, working up the courage to knock. They are also afraid of what reaching out would require them to admit, that they have not stopped thinking about you, that all the living they have done since you, all the distance they tried to put between themselves and what they feel, none of it worked, that you are still the first person they think of when something matters. That kind of honesty is terrifying, because it means being fully seen, and being fully seen by someone you love this much is the most vulnerable thing a human heart can do. There is a woman who spent 2 years telling herself she was fine. She had convinced everyone around her. She had almost convinced herself. Then one morning, she heard your voice. Just someone who sounded like you. And she had to pull over. She sat in her car and let herself feel every single thing she had been running from. And then she sent the message she had been afraid to send for 2 years. He answered before she could second-guess herself. He said, "I was going to reach out last week. I almost did. I have been afraid too." 2 years of silence. And they had been afraid of the exact same thing at the exact same time. Your heart is not broken. It is full. There is a difference. A broken heart has nothing left to give. Yours is overflowing. It is full of this person, full of everything they made you feel, full of a connection that your mind keeps returning to, not because you are damaged, but because you are honest. You know what was real. You know the difference between something ordinary and something rare. And what you had, what you still carry, was rare. The thoughts that keep coming back are not your wound. They are your wisdom. They are the truest part of you refusing to call something nothing that was clearly everything. And here is what I want you to hold gently today. You do not need to have all the answers. You do not need to know how this ends. You do not need to be certain before you allow yourself to feel what you feel. You are allowed to miss someone. You are allowed to love someone across time and silence and uncertainty. You are allowed to hope. Hope is not weakness. Hope is the thing that stays when everything else has been stripped away. And it stays because it knows something your fear does not. It knows that real connections do not come often. It knows that this kind of feeling is worth the risk of being wrong. It knows that you will not find peace by pretending you feel less than you do. The longing is a compass, and it is pointing somewhere. This is the one I promised you, the truth that changes what comes next. There is a window. Every real connection has one. A living open window of time during which everything is still possible. During which the feeling on both sides is still present and warm and capable of becoming something you actually get to live inside of instead of just dream about. That window does not stay open forever. Not because love dies, but because life moves, people make choices. They build new walls. They find other ways to fill the ache. They stop checking their phone for your name. And the window, slowly, quietly, without announcement, closes. I have sat with people who waited, who thought there was more time, who told themselves they would reach out when the moment was right, when they felt more ready, when enough had settled. And then one day, they reached out and found that the moment had passed. Not because the feeling was gone, because the window had closed. The most heartbreaking words I have ever heard are not "I love you." They are, "I should have said something sooner." You are here right now feeling everything you feel. They are somewhere right now feeling everything they feel. The window is open right now in this moment. It is open. And what you do with that, whether you let fear make the decision or whether you let love make the decision, that is the only question that has ever really mattered. I want to hold this last truth with you gently. You have been so brave already, carrying something this heavy for this long, without letting it make you hard, without letting it close you off, without letting it teach you to feel less. That is not nothing. That is everything. That is the kind of love that deserves to be honored. So here is what I want you to walk away with today. You do not need a grand gesture. You do not need perfect words or perfect timing or a guarantee of how it ends. You only need one honest sentence. Something as simple as, "I've been thinking about you. I don't know why exactly, but I wanted you to know." That is enough. That is a door opening. And if they feel what you feel, if they have been sitting on the other side of this same silence, carrying the same weight, that sentence will land like the first breath after a long time underwater. You are not too late. You have not waited too long. The window is still open, and they are not as far away as the silence makes them seem. They are thinking about you. They are afraid of the same things you are afraid of. And somewhere, in the quiet hours that belong to no one, they are hoping you reach out first. Trust what you feel. It brought you here for a reason, and it will not lead you wrong. Thank you for letting me sit with you in this today. You are not alone in what you carry, and you are braver than you know.